1927, the year sliced bread was invented, construction on Mount Rushmore began, and the great Mississippi flood came rushing in. This was also the year that my Mama Dot entered the world.
Dot was 15 and her husband-to-be was 16 when they got married. And the way they got married is it was a drive-through justice of the peace, so they did not even get out of the car. Mac and Dot were very involved and they were temporary house parents at the campus in Jackson at Sunnybrook Children's Home. Then they adopted their youngest son, Stephen, through Sunnybrook as well. And then after that time, they were very involved in opening the cottage in Dennis, Mississippi.
In the spring of 1965, Mother and Daddy were on their way to Biloxi for a vacation. And Daddy was on the board of directors at Sunnybrook, so they decided to stop in on their way through Jackson to just see the cottage. And while they were there, Brother Welch asked if they would be interested in adopting a baby boy. And of course they said no, that they were too old. So on their way to their vacation, while they were there, all they could talk about was adopting the baby boy. So on their way back through, they stopped in and said that they had changed their mind and would definitely adopt him. So in August, they went back and adopted me.
My mom and dad were real generous. They would always helping other families. And I know Mother told me one time when they first got married that Daddy told her that he didn't have any money to give to church the next day. And but somebody came by and paid him that Saturday, so he had money to give. But I told him the last year that he lived that Dad, you're going to give away everything you've got. He believed that you couldn't outgive God.
Well, Thanksgiving Day, 1972, my grandfather Mac passed away, but Mama Dot continued to serve Sunnybrook.
Even though I was adopted through Sunnybrook, I still felt like I was part of Sunnybrook, because after my father got killed on a tractor accident on Thanksgiving Day, Mother still served as house parent, because we would go to Jackson and we would stay on the farm, even at the cottages. And then we stayed for almost a year at the Liberty Cottage when I was a teenager.
As a 14-year-old foster child, I was placed at the Dennis Cottage in 1972 in August. In November of that same year, Mac was killed in a tragic accident. After that time, Dot and I I guess you could say, became traveling pals, especially to Memphis, to St. Jude in Memphis. I was an alumnus of St. Jude, and she would take me for my annual appointments. And Dot really became the mother that I never had. Dot's biggest passion in life was helping children that were in need. Because of this passion, at the age of 54, Dot created a plan that would benefit Sunnybrook even after her death.
Dot's desire to have an influence beyond her earthly life will create ripples of healing and hope in countless lives for years to come. Every person that God creates has immense value, and every friend of Sunnybrook is immeasurably important to our mission. For 55 years, the Sunnybrook ministry has served thousands of children and families with a residential home in Ridgeland plus a hospitality home just 12 miles away. Children, foster families, and child care advocates from all around Mississippi are finding rest, healing, and hope. One can never imagine the potential impact of faithful generosity. Whether by prayer, finances, time, or encouragement, lives are changed and the future is bright when we come together to serve. Sunnybrook Children's Home has existed due to an incredible number of friends committed to praying, serving, and giving. And for this, we say thank you.